Remember, coaches, we're not about doing things for us. We're doing it for the people we're working with. And the best thrill you can get is to see young people take themselves from a certain level or certain capabilities and bring that to a new level. That's the essence of what good coaching's about. And if results come with that, that's a bonus in terms of winning cups or leagues or titles. People sometimes view that as success, but that's a very narrow view of success. Real success is helping the people you're working with feel better about themselves, be better at the skills of the game, and therefore enjoy the process along the way and maybe stay with the games throughout the rest of their lives.
4 steps, that'll get you into the grid post. Weave in and through, take your shot.
Come towards you, come towards you.
Great score there, great score down the middle. Come on, get into place quickly. You know when one group goes through, the next one's ready to go. Remember, if you're coming in from the right side, try the left foot. If you're coming in from the left side, use the right foot here. And then you have any choice down the middle, left or right.
With young players, starting off and younger players, it's very, very important that they're learning the skills and they're developing as they go along. But there has to be a huge enjoyment part of it as well. But having said that, as they get better and as they develop, a huge enjoyment part of it is developing along those lines and being able to get into tackling, being able to defend in the block and all of the skills that are involved in that there. But certainly I would certainly put no limits on children, and you know they can very, very easy surprise you with the levels of training that they're able to do. But it's very, very important at all times with children to emphasise the importance of that they're learning the trade, I believe. And it's not hugely important. Say, we all have these stars at maybe 14 or something. And what I'd be more interested in maybe is what the player is doing maybe when he's 18 and 23 and 25, that they're still have a passion for the game, a love for the game, and that the training they went through nurtured the enjoyment of the game, nurtured the love of the game, nurtured their passion for the game in a competitive environment as well as an enjoyable environment, and gave them the freedom and gave them the means of expressing their talent in a competitive way, but also gave them a huge, huge wish and a want that they want to play this game for the rest of their lives, essentially for as long as they can play competitive sport.
No, I can't go back there. You need to move the ball again.
The challenges that we face as coaches, I suppose, is dealing with the variety of ability that comes before us, about making sure that we help those who are very talented to become better and to realise that talent alone doesn't make the person. It's about how they apply that talent. So it's about those people becoming team players as well, not becoming too individualistic and maybe selfish players, because it's their talent that's shared with the team that makes them a real quality player and a real quality person. And I suppose the conditions that prevail on any given day, we need to be aware of that as well, and we need to be able to adapt to different conditions. We need to be adapt to the skill level of the people that we're working with, and we needn't be looking for perfection. Perfection is something maybe you strive towards but never expect to get there. So it's just about improvement. It's about getting a step along the way to do things a little bit better and to enjoy the experience.
And give it to the passer, that's it. Oh, well intercepted, come on, keep going, that's it, that's good tackling.
I think it's important that we take time, that we're patient, and that we may have a picture in our head of what needs to be done, and we can see this picture very clearly, but we have to make sure that what we're seeing and what we see in our head is seen by those who we're trying to work with. So that may take time, and it may take a lot longer than you first anticipate, but you have to be patient, you have to work your way through it and not expect too much in a short while. But that's what working with youngsters is about. It's about bringing them across a season and then maybe a second season or a third, handing them on to somebody else and handing on best practice to the other coaches who will pick them up along the way. So it's about being patient, it's about recognising their capabilities at that stage in their life, it's about making them feel comfortable in their own skin, so to speak, and helping them develop into be better young people, as well as better sports people, because that's important, and that we have good practice in all that we do, the use of our language, the positivity of our language, and the reinforcing of appreciating what they're good at.
Who's on the break?
We won't have a team of clones, and it would be disappointing if we ever had. So there's going to be people at various ends of the spectrum in what they can do and how far advanced they are. That's a fact of life. We have to accept that's the way it is, and we have to be as accommodating as possible for all skill levels. And it's important that we do that, because yes, we want to win things and we have to create winning teams if we can in certain situations, but not at the expense of the self-esteem of other young people. So we should be looking out for those who are not as well advanced as others in terms of their skill levels or their development at any given time, and give them the opportunity to do the best they can. So we should set up situations and game situations that everyone can participate in and feel fulfilled in some way by doing that. And ultimately, all of us as coaches, through whatever part of Ireland you live in, or indeed whatever part of the world you're promoting Gaelic Games in, remember that it's our grassroots organisation. It's about much more than the sport. It's about the communities we come from, the parishes, the areas. It's what you talk about when you come out of the chapel on a Sunday morning. It's about what it is to be a member of the GAA. It's about the tradition, it's about the history. We have 125 years of it behind us now. It's been good for us, it's been good for Irish society, and it's up to us to make sure that the next generation will not only equally benefit from it, but maybe have some added value because of our participation, because of our wisdom in trying to pass on best practice to those young GAA people of the future.
Well, I thought it was great training with Mickey and his two other pals. Bring it to my club and play in my game.
I thought it was great because most people don't get a training session with Mickey Harte, and it's good to say when I'm older that I did.
I learned support play and help me when I'm training at my club at home.
I think it seemed to be very, very good. The lads seem to learn a lot of skills in that, and it's great that Brian Cody will give us time and all that for it and show the skills of a winning manager and a winning team, what they show them, and I think it's great, and hopefully he can bring it forward and make the most of it in his future hurling career.
I thought it was very good. It's going to help me down the road when I'm playing matches, and the advice Mickey gave us was very good, and he showed us like how to kick and pass without panicking and have confidence.
The skills they learned here today was the kick pass and the hand pass and shooting for goals, and these are all the basic things that they do with their own clubs, but to come up here and see Mickey Harte showing them how to do it is a great experience for them, and it's something that they can take back with them today, and they'll always have this memory with them forever anyway.
Learned how to block and hand pass better, and to be more aware where your players are.
Support play.
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant for the kids come from all over the country, and getting to meet some of their heroes. Like Mickey Harte is a legend, especially up north, like where I'm from, up in Donegal. Come down here, and even as a coach myself, seeing so many of these drills that you can take back to your clubs as well, it's a great thing altogether, yeah.
So a lot of the stuff you'll be doing today, it'll be getting yourself involved in team play, how you can support the man on the ball, how you can be conscious of how you can be of help when you haven't got the ball, and how you work together as a team. So it'll cover the basic skills of the game, like the catching and kicking's always there, control of the ball, breaking the tackle, a bit of shooting, where you shoot from, when it's appropriate to shoot and when it's maybe appropriate to offload. Playing the game with a bit of vision as well. So we're covering those kind of aspects of team play. Sessions are first of all conjured up in the mind, then they're put on paper, and then it's brought to the field, and then people work their way through that. And it's not a perfect science, not to say you make out this template and you work to it to the very last. You have to adjust during the session. Again, there's weather conditions today. It's very wet, so if a session's going to take place in wet weather, then things got to move a bit sharper. We all know we don't like players standing about, particularly youngsters standing about in the rain getting cold. That puts people off, because ultimately this is about enjoyment, and we want to have people enjoying what they're doing as well as learning.
All I'm going to say to you is this is all about communication, organisation, particularly as Mickey says there, the weather, the day that's in it. We want to make the most of it, and days there will be like this. And you know yourselves, I'm sure you started back in January, even times during the summer it was bad weather, so we want to keep it nice and snappy. Get yourselves always organised, and know you're going to work yourselves into starting off with 2 teams, and just be listening for all the keys just to get these going and all that. All right? So we'll just get cracking, boys. There's nothing else for it.
Just because this is a warm-up and because this is the start of the session doesn't mean to say you don't stay focused. See, you might take time to get your muscles and all up to the level you want it to be, but your brain is always there. So if you get your brain right from the off, then things happen better. So we're looking quality from the off. Quality in the handling, quality in the calling, quality in your movement when Fergal's asking you to do different things. give it quality right from the off, then things get better. We're just watching a warm-up drill here. There's a zone, as you can see, from about 30 metres by about 15, 20 across, and we have players. These are adult players now, and they're just ending up in the little space in the middle of this. This happens to all groups and all teams. You have to ask them to think about the space that's available and go to new places that others aren't in. You think sometimes this is the only thing you have to say to children, but even adult players as well find themselves all congregating in the centre of a zone. So you have to keep asking them to move out. You're also looking quality in the handling. This is a Honden Drill. It's early in the session, and people, you know, will maybe take it a bit casual. You want them to get focused right away, handling the ball well, the right height of a pass, the right movement, the right communication between the players. Keeping thinking from the off. That's important. You can see here, this is an adult team. The players know each other, so it's easier to get them organised than it is with a group of young kids starting off at the beginning. You can see here, Fergal asked them to go into lines of 4. It happened like that. They had their bibs on from the start because that was pre-organised as well. All these things organised in advance makes the session run in a slicker fashion, and that's important, particularly on a bad day where the weather's like this.
Next group's away. Let's go. Keep it snappy. Go. Next group. Go.
Well, here the skill is passing the ball with a bit of forward momentum. And again, it's about the quality. Players could pass this and it could be at the feet, it could be too high. That's what you want to look for, to see what is the height of the pass. Is it body height, sort of from the chin to the waist, so to speak. That means that the player can take the ball at full stride and doesn't have to interrupt his natural rhythm. They're going to have to do this during the game. They're going to do it with greater intensity. They're going to have to do it with opposition. And when they do it well, without opposition, that makes them focus on what good best practice is like. And then when that becomes sort of almost innate or second nature to them, then they're more likely to be able to deliver it that way when the pressure is on.
That's all right. Just step in and then just let's out. 3, 2, 1. Quick feet in between. Let's go. Keep going. All right, please go again. We're picking up the feet. Moving the ball. Use the space.
Right, as we can see here, the warm-up's still going on, and it's important that the warm-up is done over a prolonged period of time, maybe as many as 12, 15, 18 minutes, so that the players are well warmed up, that their body is ready for the more intense action that's come after this. But you can see that most of this has been done with the ball as well, because I think that's important, that as much as possible can be done while handling the ball. Well, there'll be the key skills, obviously, about it's not just picking the ball up any old way, it's getting the hands in the proper place, getting the body in the proper position, their left foot and right foot, or whichever foot's picking the ball up. They will be coached on what best practice is there. And the second thing is, even in the warm-up drills where they're passing the ball, is it going at the correct height, at the best possible height? You know, are they communicating with each other right from the off? Again, this is to avoid injury as well, so that they're actually working, beginning to build up the blood flow in their muscles, and almost unnoticed because they're using the ball and it isn't a chore anymore. It's something actually quite interesting for them to do, and it helps their skill level as well. So it's about incorporating the ball in the whole, or as much of the session as possible, and that they're actually doing other things, getting ready for more intense work without even thinking about it.
Good. Ping the ball. And the receiver on the toes, ready to change, right to left, back or forward.
Right, now you see going on small-sided games where the skills that the people were practicing even in the warm-up, and that they'll be practicing throughout their coaching season, if you like, put into more game situation. So we have 3-a-side, 4-a-side, 5-a-side, as the case may be, depending on our numbers, where you have a catcher in each zone here at each end of the pitch. The idea is to get a score, you put the ball into the catcher's hands cleanly. It doesn't bounce, it has to go on the full, so to speak, into his hands. Now the catcher's got a zone of about 14 metres by 5 deep, behind the little play area that's set out, the 20, 30 metre square, whatever it is. And the idea of this is that there's movement for everybody in the game, that there's nobody just so-called stuck in goals while they wait till the ball comes to them. In fact, they have to be thinking and tuned into the game as well, because it's their movement along this zone which will make them available for a pass or not. So the players are under pressure, they're being tackled out the field, so they have to think and have a bit of vision, a bit of looking around them, even though there's pressure on. And it means that when a player passes into the person in the zone, they go in and take his place, he comes out and plays the game at a more intense level out the field. So it's a very fair game, it's a very game-related exercise, and that's what we want to be doing, bringing the skills to a new level all the while through our coaching session.
Horse.